Welcome to the Easy Answer Podcast. I'm Brandy, plant-based chef.
And I'm Vonanise, plant-based adjacent.
On this podcast, we explore thought-provoking conversations around food
and simple ways to stay healthy in this crazy world.
Hey, so on this episode of the Easy Answer Podcast, we are going to be talking about diets. It is the top of a new year, and everybody is always trying to diet, right? Yes, 2022.
I know. That means that all your dreams can come true in 2022, and you too can be a perfect size, right? Whatever that is.
If you just diet, that's fine. That rhymes. All your dreams can come true in 2022. Maybe that's a pizza merchandise that we make.
We love merch.
Plug for our shameless plug for our merchandise store where you can get Easy Answer Podcast goodies.
Hashtag plant-based adjacent.
Yes, indeed. Cool. So Vaughn, how is the top of 2022 been treating you?
It's 2022 has proven to be challenging already, and we're only a week in. I'm the type of person where I diet as well. I diet. Brandy does not, but I diet. All right. I will join a diet. I will calorie count. I will put an app on my phone that helps me to track my meals, And so there was a story that said that for this year, people are deciding not to diet. That's the new diet is no dieting.
Yeah, which is interesting. Which is interesting, especially because when people were more readily going to like gyms and stuff, and new year, new you, new body, working out, going on a diet at this time of year was like a big deal. I don't know if because we have, kind of experienced and are still experiencing a pandemic that people are just deciding that, like, I'm gonna eat what I want to eat. I'm just gonna be happy with what my reality is versus trying to create one that makes everybody else happy.
Definitely. Like, you have to think about the mentality of human beings that's in this world that we're in. All right. So every century we have a pandemic. We got caught in this one. All right. 2020 comes, we're like, oh, we're about that new life. 2020 shut down, pandemic. Everyone stays in their house. This is the first time this ever happened to us. And it's the first time it happened in a century. So it's not like we have a point of reference from someone. Everybody who it happened to is deceased, And if they're old enough that they, like stay there, some centennials hanging around. I mean, I don't know that many centennials. Do you? Like, you can't really get advice from them on how they handle the Spanish flu.
Yeah, not personally. I mean, they got there was a story about the Japanese, the oldest person, the Japanese turned 119 a couple of days ago.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know Japan, and I don't know and I can't call Japan. So
she probably, I don't know. I'm not sure how, like,
I don't know if she'll take a call from me.
Yeah.
So I had no point of reference. So then 2021 came, and we were all like, we're all about that diet life. We're going to get our bodies back into shape. And then they said, hold up.
Omicron.
Delta variant.
Oh, Delta, right.
All right. There's we're like, yay, vaccines. They're like, no, boo, Delta variant. And we're like, oh, we're all about that vaccine life. Let's try these. And then we're arguing about vaccines left and right. Okay. Not only we arguing about the president, we arguing about vaccines. We just arguing. Then 2022 came and everyone says, I just need peace. So if I need to eat bread, I'm eating bread. If I need pasta, I'm eating pasta. All right. If I need to eat bread, pasta, mac and cheese, pie, chocolate cake, I'm doing it because I need happiness. And I think that's people choosing happiness over hotness. That's what I think.
Okay. All right. I mean, yeah, happiness over hotness. The challenge with that decision is the long-term effects on our body and our health, right? Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, a plate of macaroni and cheese, bread, mashed potatoes, French fries,
and then followed by chocolate cake and pie.
Yeah.
Right?
Sounds kind of yummy, just not really sustainable, right? So yeah, so funny enough, guys, this is one of our special episodes that just Vaughn and I do where we go down the explained rabbit hole. And if you don't know what
We
explained
love
is,
explain.
right? Explained is a series on Netflix that literally explains a whole bunch of different things. Now, if you guys don't know, we've done an explained episode on sugar. We also done an explained episode on what was our other explained episode?
Meat, girl.
Thank you. Listen, it's
Meat
hard.
was
That
something,
yes,
girl.
the future of meat. Yes, that's what that was our inaugural explain episode in our series. So this time we thought, top of the year. People have kind of given up this idea. The new it diet, as they called it, is now not dieting. We wanted to kind of explore through the episode called "Why Dieting Doesn't Work," just to kind of help anybody who is interested in identifying the thing that makes the most sense for you.
Definitely. All right. And I just really, I love explains, and I feel like because they give you the history of something, so they start with the history of dieting and
Yeah,
our idea and the modern day history of when it started.
yeah,
So, and
yeah.
that's really, and in order to know the history, you'll know like how do we get to this place where like oh, dieting is like $1 billion industry now.
Right. Cool. So here we go.
But for most of our history, being overweight was the exception, not the norm. Meals had to be farmed and prepared. Just eating enough food took a lot of effort. But in the West, that all changed after World War II.
Transportation systems got better, production systems got better, and companies were able to start making foods that were in boxes and that had a long shelf life. And people loved them because they were so convenient. The classic processed food is what happens to whole grains when you turn whole grains into white flour. You remove the outer layer of bran and you remove the wheat germ, and that's where all the vitamins, minerals, and fiber are.
The solution? Put those vitamins and minerals right back in. And many consumers who had never heard of these nutrients before now connected their presence in these new foods with health. And so, the modern dieting industry was born.
At lunchtime, instead of fattening food, they have delicious Metrical milkshake flavors to help stay slim and trim.
Wow. The first dieting food,
That's like the original Slim Fast Shake.
yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And they even said like the president used to drink it, like President Kennedy or someone like that, and it was available on the menu at the Four Seasons and
I'm gonna
all
go
these
to the
things.
Four Seasons and purchase a shake from a can. That sounds insane. Like I'm gonna go to the Four Seasons and do this.
But it was before the idea of nutritionists, and it was before the idea of someone understanding the way people just trying to delve in and understand the way the body works in terms of how it processes food,
Now
you
I guess
know?
I'm just thinking about the Four Seasons experience, right? When I go to the Four Seasons, I want you to cook me something. I don't want to just drink something from a can.
That's because you don't go to the Four Seasons that much. But if that was your regular place to have lunch, you'd be like, "Well, I'm so rich. Let me just get a Metro-Cow."
Yeah, totally. Anyway, but yeah, they talk about in that clip we just watched, just kind of the shift from because, and we've said this before. I know I've said this before on this podcast that
You love this. This is Brandy's jam. She's gonna give
if
it to you.
you have to make the food, you're more than likely gonna eat less of it, especially like bad food, right? So I can go grab an apple and just eat it straight raw, like, but that's because it's there. Making a cake though, if I gotta go, but if I have to make a cake in order to get a slice of cake, I'm gonna eat less cake. So just like in that episode, right? They were saying that pre processed food and the ability to not have to farm the food just to get enough. That's how we kind of ended up where we are today.
But then also, they also stress that human beings, for most of their existence, were dreaming of a time where food would be plentiful. Most human beings were on a starvation diet. Like they didn't have enough food and enough nutrients because they had to kill food, they had to make it. And once the 20th century came around and how the industrial age came around, that really changed the way we ate food. They even said that in the meat episode, when we learned how to domesticate animals, this is all coming into play now. All right. That changed everything for us. And even when they talked about the grain, this is something that you have said a lot. All right. About the wheat. All right. And flour. So Brandy has this, she always says like all food is processed, right? It depends on how much of a process is in it, how processed it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless you're getting it from the farm outside your house, like if you live, it's all processed.
And technically, if you want to say, if you want to be real anal about and technical about it, pulling it out of the ground is a process, right? Like unless we're just like eating it from the ground, like just off from the root, it's all processed, right? So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so when you see celebrities on TV and they're like, I don't eat processed food, I don't eat this, I don't eat that. And it's like, yes, you do. That's a marketing term. The problem isn't the food, it's the marketing of the food. That's the problem.
That's it. And that's why people feel like, that's it's marketing all around, right? Like we've gotten to a point where we don't even necessarily have realistic expectations of our physical appearance, our bodies, right? We so
we think everybody's gonna be this small and then their booty gonna be this big.
Yeah.
Like
and then boobs gonna be all the way out there. Even I don't know if boobs are still in. Like boobs were kind of like a 90, 80 thing. I think now it's all about the butt.
No, I think it's like Coke bottle shape.
Both. Oh, it's all about the full shape. Got it. Okay. Well, yeah. But I remember boobs were a big thing. Like, remember, like everybody was all about boob implants and butts really weren't in. But now, like, everybody's trying to get their butt done. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you look at most human beings, my sister always says that she was just like, women that have big butts tend to have big legs because the way that God made us, like, people, like, you need something to sustain that butt. Yeah. Women with big boobs, they have back fat because something has to hold that up. When people don't have that, that's a lot of times that means it's surgically altered.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. Marketing across the board. All right.
So if people talk about your, improving your metabolism in order to do these things, I don't know if that's a good kind of thought process about burning fat, according to this next clip.
I mean, I just think that when it comes to metabolism, like we all, like they make it sound like our metabolism is fixed and either you have a fast metabolism or you have a slow metabolism. But I believe in manifestation. So like I say every day, I have a fast metabolism, and I am a relatively thin person. I'm not like, but I gain weight like everyone else. I'm no like, oh, I can never gain weight. No. I gain weight, but I think that one thing that I noticed that is prevalent with me after I work out, I get so hungry, and I think that it's because they tell you why, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're talking about me, and I eat more on the days that I work out than on the days that I don't work out.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
The metabolism. What is it?
Metabolism is basically the energy required to keep your cells and tissues alive.
The food we eat is the source of our energy. The majority of that energy, that is 70 to 90%, is used exclusively for bodily processes like digestion, keeping our heart beating, our hair growing, and so on. Not for walking, not for biking, not for jogging. Physical activity is great for muscle tone and our overall health, but it just doesn't burn that many calories. And after working out, people tend to eat more calories, which also doesn't help. Losing weight isn't just a question of willpower. Our bodies are actually pretty resistant to weight change, especially when it's dropping. And then there's leptin, a hormone that signals to the brain how hungry you are. A number of studies have found that leptin levels are lower in people who've just lost weight.
Girl, that leptin, And when I saw that, it's just like, it's like your body's like, I don't want you to lose weight. I want this weight. You know, your body's fighting against you. And when you work out, like I've told this story before, I was supposed to be on an infomercial and they did it like The Biggest Loser, right? And so we worked out 6 days a week and then they made us eat from the box. They sent us a celebrity diet, the In the Zone diet. So in the first, like the first week or two, right? We had like 16 to 1800 calories. Then as it went on, we were going down to 1200 calories a day. And all we could eat, well, all we could eat was in that box. Okay. It was like all women. And I was only in it for like 4 or 5 weeks because my body couldn't go down as much as they wanted me to. Right. So I got kicked off the island, no longer there. But by the last week, we were all fighting with each other. We were about to rip each other's hair out, you know, because we were hungry.
Yeah. Because I mean, like, yeah, you were sharing with me, I think offline that like one of your dinners was like a third of a potato, 6 shrimp, and like pieces of broccoli. And I'm just like, who wants to live like that? It's nobody worth that for me. Look, I like to eat. Hence the reason I've decided to choose, plant-based living, because I feel like I can eat a lot of food, take in minimal calories, and still be satisfied, right? So that's for me why, at least that's the lifestyle that I've decided to kind of quote unquote select as my diet, because I can eat whatever, not whatever I want, but I can eat in abundance, right? I don't have to. I don't like like Vaughn says, like, you're cool counting calories. We've gone back and forth about our different philosophies around this.
I'm that 90-year-old hot lady.
I ain't counting calories. I'm just eating salad. You understand? Or eating, walnuts. Like, I'm cool with that reality.
And when I'm in a Brittany's house and I'm trying to count calories, I can hear in her voice, Vaughn, you don't have that. She like gets mad at me, people. All right.
Who counts calories in a spinach salad? It's like, what is it? 100, even if you throw some nuts in it.
Okay, it's not counting in a spinach salad. You have to log your meals daily in the app. Dang, Brandy.
I'm just still be like counting. It's just like, oh, you have a piece of chocolate. Oh my god, how much? I have no idea. I just eat the chocolate. I don't know how many calories are in it.
Definitely.
But yeah, so like they're different diets that make sense for you. Like, there really is like no one, right? But I do know that the one that more than likely won't work for most is the 6 shrimp, 1/3 sweet potato broccoli diet. That's what I can say with a lot of confidence.
Because you can't sustain it over time.
No.
They were saying like, you should really think of it, and this is just like the basics of what they said about everything. You should think of it as a lifestyle change. As you get older, most human beings' metabolism slows down, so you need less food. You just have to get used to eating less. I remember once I was watching an episode of the Oprah show, and her trainer Bob was on there, and he was just like, people just have to get used to that hungry feeling at the end of the night, that empty feeling. Like, you got to be okay with that empty feeling.
What do you mean, that empty feeling?
Like, you go to sleep and your stomach is not 100% full up.
Oh, full. Okay, got it. So not like hunger pains, but just like not stuffed.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And I think that, I don't know, like sometimes our parents put that idea of like, I do the app Noom, where they do like the psychiatry behind food, like the Clean Plate Club. And our parents put that idea in our head.
Yeah.
And so what they're saying is that, you need to be able to like ask yourself, am I content? So now I'll eat a first serving of something, and then I'll drink water, and then I'll sit there because I eat kind of fast and I can't stop myself from eating fast. Mm-hmm. I try, but it don't work. But I'll drink water and then I'll just sit there. And before I go and get seconds, I'll give it 15, 20 minutes. Let my body digest it, let the water do what it does. And 9 times out of 10, I don't want more. Sometimes I do want more vegetables, because now I eat 2 vegetables with every meal. Hashtag plant-based
Plant-based
adjacent.
adjacent. The lifestyle selection that works for Vaughn, plant-based adjacent.
Yes, yes. Because I eat 2 vegetables with every meal. It really does work for me. All right. So it makes life easier. And then also like it's a really cold day out today. It's like 18 degrees outside. I'm not going to the gym. I am going to walk up the stairs 6 or 7 times today, up and down, 6 flights of stairs. And
That's a
that's
good
it.
workout.
That's an excellent workout. And that's it. And this special, like why diets feel, made me feel like, well, then it is sufficient to walk up the stairs, and it is sufficient to walk up the stairs a couple of times a day. It is sufficient to walk your dog every day, twice a day. And that's enough of a workout as long as make sure you don't eat, chocolate cake every day.
Right. Because we've had this conversation. Like people make, and I get it. It's marketing. People got to make money. People make dieting some special, losing weight some special concept. It's not. 3,500 calories equals 1 pound. Roughly. That's it.
That's
3,500 calories,
break it
1
down for you.
pound.
That's what you did to me, and I ain't like it. But tell them.
It's math. Pound. It is math. Okay, that is 7 times a day, 500 calories. You remove 500 calories a day from your diet, you lose 1 pound a week. You add 500 calories a day to your diet, you gain 5 pounds a week. It is literally that simple. So you have to ask yourself, what diet makes the most sense for like what you're going to consume, because it is 80% what you put in your mouth. I don't care what they tell you.
That's
We
the
just
truth.
learned that like the metabolism and muscles, that's working out's great. It keeps us mobile and it keeps us having some muscle. But when it comes to weight loss, it is calorie deficit. That is all we got.
Yeah, but then I also know, I think it's also when you eat too, because I think what Oprah's trainer Bob was saying is just like if like intermittent fasting, I noticed that worked for me. So like if I don't eat like 3 to 4 hours before I'm going to bed, and then I wake up and my stomach is empty, it's like you're giving your body time now to process food, you know? And I think that for me, that really works. I don't wake up and feel so bloated. I hate to I go to sleep like on Thanksgiving. You go to sleep, all right? And then you wake up and you're still full. I hate that feeling,
Listen, I do. When I was a kid, I would eat until I had to open up my pants and roll on the floor. It was very weird. It was like a thing. Like it was like, until I had to do that, I had eaten enough. It was so strange. But then by the time I got to high school, I had stopped the open up your pants and roll on the floor kind
and
of
rolling
requirement.
on the floor, girl.
I don't know. I like rolling on the floor, but like the fact that like I couldn't keep my pants open, closed is crazy to me. But yeah. But I don't.
I
Yeah,
think
that's weird.
intermittent fasting, like if you just decide that you're not going to eat, 3 hours before you wake up, that works. And then another thing that Brandy also helped me with is that you wake up and you drink like 32 ounces of water. That really helps. If that's
It
the
does.
first thing in your system, I like water with lemon because it helps reduce your waistline. Water with lemon or water with cucumber, reduce your waistline.
Yeah, and also it's good for you to balance your pH. Like if you don't care about the waistline, I mean, like we always say, everybody's motivation is different, right?
Okay, let's keep it all the way real in this world. All right. You might not want to be thin, but everybody wants a snatched waist. I don't care who you are. And I will say everybody. Nobody wants a bloated gut. All right. Like, everyone wants a snatched waist. And there's been scientific studies that show that most of the weight is held in your stomach and it's not good for you. And that's what leads to diabetes. So, and all of it is held in your gut. So snatch waist is necessary. And I don't care what you guys say. Everybody wants to be snatched in the waist and cute in the face.
You heard it first here at the Easy Answer podcast. So, so let's go into our last clip that kind of talks about what are what are the keys to any diet, if you're gonna do the no diet or the calorie counting diet. What are the keys?
Or a third.
And that is the key to successful dieting. Find the diet you can stick to, so it's no longer a diet, it's just how you eat.
A common comment we got from many of them who were the most successful was that we had helped them change their relationship to food.
And even if they didn't reach their goal weights, that new relationship to food made a lot of them healthier.
I was able to step away from that pre-diabetic range.
I don't want to go out and eat lasagna with pizza on the side. I want to go out and eat maybe a nice green salads, and maybe I'll have that piece of pizza, but I'll make it vegetarian or something.
For much of human history, we have lived in communities on the razor's edge of food scarcity and famine, dreaming up magical lands full of easy, delicious eating. The irony today is that many of us the world over inhabit that magical land, where we can eat as much as we want, whenever we want. Only in this version, we're still struggling.
I think the biggest reason that diets fail people is because they focus solely on the weight loss component.
Human physiology is set up to make sure that we maintain our weight, and physiology doesn't like being fought.
But diets can work. You just have to eat fewer calories and sustain it. There's no one magic diet that helps everybody do that. It really comes down to this.
Dietary advice is really simple. You eat fruits and vegetables, you don't eat too much junk food, and you balance caloric intake with the kind of activity level that you have. You try to eat unprocessed foods to the extent that you can. It really isn't any more complicated than that.
That's it.
I mean, and she said the exact same thing you said, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, we make it way too complex. And I get it.
Because we have a need to.
Huh?
We all have a need to. You know, like people want, like some people feel like, I think it's also because people feel like they're not good enough, so they're not living up to like the standards that are set like on magazine covers and on TV, but those people aren't real.
They're not.
You know? And they get photoshopped.
There was some, I don't know, I can never remember. I've consumed so much I can never remember the reference. But there was some magazine that had committed to no airbrushing, like no photoshopping recently. It was a fashion, which I thought was very interesting. I got to find that because I thought it was an interesting decision.
So if we're comparing ourselves to them, then it feels like it's not, it feels like we can never live up to it. But if we're just, you know, living our lives and following the diet that works for you, you know, figure out what works for your body, then it makes life easier. You know?
Pretty much. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So guys, there you have it. New year, new you on your terms, right? That's pretty much what it comes down to. If you want to not diet, that's your choice. If you want to count calories, that's your choice. If you want to become plant-based adjacent, that's your choice. Also, it's your choice to go to our merchandise store and purchase your plant-based adjacent mug, cup, or bag when you have a chance. So guys, as always, we appreciate you spending your time with us on the Easy Answer podcast. And until next time, be easy.